Here's a great little trick for you. If you ever wanted to get a little bit more color saturation into a photo, and you're not quite sure how to do it, because honestly, I mean, you can go over to like the hue saturation dialog and you can just crank up the saturation. But if you look here, it goes from barely doing anything to getting really bad really quick to where it's radioactive. So I don't really think that that's the best way to do it. So one of the ways that you can do it is using a different color mode. I want to show you how. First off, we're going to duplicate the layer. So just press Command J on the Mac or Control J on the PC. So now we have a separate copy to work with. And plus it lets me show you, by turning it on and off later, it lets me show you a little before and after. And we're going to come up here to the image menu, go down to mode, and we're going to change this to LAB color, because the trick we're about to do is gonna work inside the LAB color mode. So we're gonna change this to LAB color, and I'm just gonna tell it not to flatten, because it wants to flatten the layer shell to say don't flatten, so it leaves it. So nothing at this point really changes. You don't see a visible change in the image. It doesn't degrade the image in any way. But what we're gonna do is make a little bit of a color move here. So we're gonna go to the channels palette. We're gonna go down, and you'll see there's 3 channels. It's not an RGB image anymore. All right, RGB is red, green, and blue. It's not RGB anymore. Instead, it's LAB. Lightness, you've got the A channel for color, and you've got the B channel. So the lightness or the luminance channel, the A channel is color, the B channel is color. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to click on the A channel. We're going to head up to the image menu, go down to adjustments, and choose curves. All right, we're going to come inside of here, and a couple things that you might want to just make sure that you have turned on here is, first off, I like the smaller grid for this because we want to be as exact as possible. And then all we're going to do is move this slider, or this little dot right at the bottom, over 2, and then we're going to move this one over 2. Let's get rid of my little notification center there. All right, and then we're going to switch to the click OK. Then we're going to come over here and click on the B channel. And then the keyboard shortcut for curves is Command M on the Mac or Control M on the PC. So we're going to press that. Now we're working on the B channel, and we're going to do the same exact thing. Move that over 2 and move that over 2. All right. Then we click OK. Now, to get back to the normal view, all you got to do is click the top channel, top LAB composite channel. We'll come back over here to the layers panel and check out what it did. So that's before, that's after. It adds color saturation in kind of a different way because you're working on different color channels to the overall photo. And the cool part about it is it's still done on a separate layer. So if I wanted to, because I think it got just a little bit hot up here in this area right here, I can add a layer mask, select B from my brush tool, all right, and then take the opacity of the brush, take it down to about 40–50%, so it's only going to affect, it's going to be like less opacity is the best way to say it, and then just paint with black, because the mask over here is white, so you want to affect the mask, you got to paint with black, and I'll just take a large brush and I'll kind of paint over the mountains a little bit, and just paint them in there, a little bit of black, and it hides it, and it shows the original ones that were underneath. So that's before. And that's after. And if it's overall too much, maybe just knock the opacity down a little bit. But it's adding saturation, color saturation in a different way. And it's really targeting the colors, I think, that we want to target in a much better way than rather than just blasting it with an overall saturation slider where you don't get any control over what you're about to do there. And as you saw before, the effects and the results are usually not very good. Okay, so when you're done, last thing that you want to do here is you go Image, Mode, and just come back here to RGB, and you can just tell it don't flatten, so it won't flatten the image. You'll still have your layers over here, and you can still use the layer mask, and if there's any other areas where it looks bad or you want to paint it out of, feel free to come over there and just adjust the layer mask. Okay, so hope that helps out with your, it's mostly outdoor photos if you want to add a little bit more pop and color saturation to it. My name's Matt Kloskowski, and I'll talk to you again soon.